Welcome to the Transparent FX Academy. I'm Nick and I'm a top order trading with over 190k reputation points. In this video, I will be speaking about BTCUSD. Now, as usual, to keep the video as educational as possible, first I will be covering the technical aspect for this market. Then we will be moving to the on-chain data. We will be looking at a few important metrics like the exchange reserves, the new supply emitted into circulation, and then I will be showing you a quite important thing that is currently happening here if we look at the liquidation maps for BTCUSD across centralized exchanges. So let's get right into it. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. This is the place to be for high quality free trading education. Now, without further ado, let's jump straight onto the charts. Now, starting here from the monthly time frame, what we can see is that we have a market which at the moment has created a rejection away from the previous all-time high and now created also a new all-time high. In fact, if you remember, I was speaking about BTCUSD when the market was here and explained all the reasons for which I was expecting a rejection to the upside away from the previous all-time high, essentially starting a new cycle. And that is exactly what the market did, creating this massive rejection to the upside. We had the previous halving around here, the market followed with a bull market, then we had the last halving here, and the market started with this. It moved to the upside, creating basically a new all-time high. Now, in a situation like this, we have essentially some consolidation, which has been happening at the moment. We have already basically 3 months of a price action, which pretty much stayed at the same area. So we had 3 months of range. And there is one important level that we have to keep in mind in 9 days and 9 hours when we will have this monthly close, which is basically the monthly close. Now, the previous monthly level, and you can easily identify it by going on a line chart, is exactly here. It will be very important to see the market close above this area from a monthly perspective, because a close above the zone could then signal that still buyers are in control and more price discovery is possible. Now, let's drop down on the weekly time frame and see what we have. Now, from a weekly perspective, it is very clear how the market is currently moving in between these two levels. We had essentially those 3 months of horizontal price action. The market at the moment is testing the low of the range. The next logical step would be for this market to test the high of this weekly range, therefore to create a rejection to the upside away from the zone. Dropping down on the daily time frame, what do we see? Now, from a daily perspective, we can notice how clearly these two levels are getting respected quite nicely. Every time the market is respecting this area as support, every time the market is respecting this level as resistance. The last test was of the low. The next logical step would be a potential test of the high. We can also notice that the market so far for quite a few days has been moving basically in this consolidation, which could easily actually be in accumulation. So institutions accumulating longs around this area. We have already seen that several sovereign wealth funds have actually bought BTC around this zone. So there is an increased probability that all this buying pressure at some point will essentially hit the market and the market creates the rejection to the upside. We also are having the FTX distributions, which are currently ongoing. There is the possibility that that capital will flow back into the market. So let's keep all of this in mind and move to the on-chain data. Now, if we look at what has been happening, we see here the white line is the price, which is essentially this area here. The purple line is the amount of Bitcoins on exchanges. And we can see how that has been dropping consistently for quite some time. This shows that there is a massive buying pressure of people essentially buying and moving the Bitcoins away from exchanges. So that could potentially at some point trigger a supply shock. We're now at 2.4 million Bitcoins currently on exchanges, which is a quite low number. Now, if we go to what we have when it comes to the supply, especially the new supply, we can see how the halving essentially is okay. So what we can see here is that every 4 years, we're having a massive drop in the new supply. These are essentially the halvings. So this is the new supply emitted into circulation. Every 4 years gets cut in half. We just had a new halving. The next one is coming in around 2028. Now, the exact date depends on the block, so we really don't know so far. Now, in a situation like this, where the new supply has been cut in half, usually the bull market lasts a bit more, okay? In the past, there has been more bullish price action being created after the halving hits the market. Also in 2021, essentially there was a bit more bullish price action being created, 2020, 2021. So there is a possibility to see more bullish price action. But again, it's very important to see what will happen when the market essentially will create the monthly close. Speaking about more short-term price action, if we look to the liquidations and we look, for example, at Binance, which is the biggest exchange, what we can see here is that at the top, there is now all this yellow. Now, what this yellow is the amount of liquidations that essentially there will be. So what we can see in the past is that if, for example, we see other areas where we reached yellow, we can see how the market immediately after went and hit those levels, okay? Now, what this means, this is essentially the market going towards the areas where there is the most liquidity, because that is what the market usually tends to do. So people usually tend to be stopped out, right? Liquidated from the market, from their leveraged positions. And there's a lot of stop loss hunting or liquidation hunting, call it as you want, going on. Now, all the liquidation area seems to be, and all the liquidations seem to be piling up at this high. So if the market will actually go and hunt that level, as it usually does, at that point, we would have around 110,000. This is around the 110K level. So there is definitely the possibility the market has an increased, more reasons basically for go and reach this area to liquidate all their leveraged positions around this zone. Usually the market is attracted to these liquidation levels, and most of the times actually the market goes and actually hits those levels. So there is a good probability that the market will want to go and test this zone. So in a situation like this, what would I expect? Well, as usual, trading is reactive and not predictive. The monthly, weekly, and daily timeframes combined with the on-chain data, those are the best timeframes when it comes to directional aspect of the market. However, when it comes to identifying early shifts in the trend of a market, the best timeframes for that are the intraday timeframes, so 4 hour and lower. Therefore, if in this area the market will shift from an intraday bearish to a bullish market, at that point I wouldn't be surprised to see a potential rejection to the upside for the market to go and hunt all the liquidations currently sitting around this high. That definitely wouldn't surprise me. Now, all this general free education and analysis that you see me provide on YouTube is actually just the tip of the iceberg. In fact, if you want to learn more, I really suggest that you go and check out my transparentfxtrading.com website, which you find linked in description. Here, you have the possibility to gain access to all my courses, starting from the very basics of charting all the way up to the more advanced topics like how to build automated trading strategies using the MQL4 language, how to build portfolios of strategies, and using quantitative finance tools like the Quant Analyzer to actually build those portfolios of strategies. You also have the possibility to gain access to my trading station software with the Telegram notifications integrations. You can get one-on-one mentorship directly with me. Also, you can gain access to the COT data software, which you often see me use on my YouTube channel. This is an all-in-one program. In fact, on top of all of this, you also have the possibility to gain access to all my personally developed EAs, so my automated trading tools. Here, you will see all the presentations of each and every one of them. And also you have the possibility to gain access to the trading show, so essentially a live stream of all the trades happening in live time from my live account. And if you continue to scroll down past the testimonials, you will see that you can also find the button to join now, and you will essentially be put in contact of my WhatsApp number. So I really suggest that you go and check it out as soon as possible. The link is in the description, and I will see you in my next video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, and also let me know in the comments below any new pairs or topics that you would like me to cover in the next videos. And I will see you in my next breakdown.